The crack echoed through the ABC studio like a snapped branch. Bruce Lee's palm landed on Muhammad Ali's forearm, precise, surgical. The impact rippled through muscle and bone, but the sound was wrong, too sharp, too clean. Ali's fingers bloomed open, all five at once, petals unfurling against his will. His hand dropped, dead weight, a fish tossed onto canvas. He stared at it, his hand. His champion's hand, the hand that had beaten Sonny Liston and Joe Frazier. It hung there at the end of his wrist, foreign and useless, refusing every command his brain screamed down his arm. 40 crew members became statues. Camera operators forgot to breathe. Lighting technicians gripped their equipment stands. The studio air tasted metallic with shock. Ali tried to curl his fingers. Nothing. He tried to lift his thumb. Nothing. The flesh obeyed gravity alone, swaying slightly, pale against the hot studio lights. Bruce stood 3 feet away, hands relaxed at his sides, face calm as morning water. Ali's mouth opened, closed. His throat worked but produced no sound. Sweat beaded cold across his temples. The greatest boxer alive could not feel his own skin, but the numbness creeping toward his elbow that he felt perfectly. Ali whips his arm through the air, once, twice. The limb swings like rope. His fingers dangle, puppets without strings. He pumps his fist, commanding the muscles to respond. Nothing. The flesh feels absent, erased from existence. No pain. No tingle, just electrical silence where his hand used to be. Bruce lay watches without expression, arms folded, breathing steady. Ali shakes harder. The studio lights glare down, exposing every twitch of desperation. 40 crew members stand motionless, witnesses to impossible vulnerability. The greatest hands in boxing history refuse every neural command. Move, clench, feel something. His mind screams orders his body cannot hear. What? Ali's voice cracks, stripped of its usual thunder. What did you do? Not a question, a confession of powerlessness. Bruce remains silent, no smirk, no triumph, just observation. Ali tries again. His thumb twitches, barely. A phantom sensation crawls beneath the skin like insects waking, but his fingers stay limp, dead weight. He has broken jaws with this hand, stopped George Foreman, conquered Sonny Liston. Now he cannot wiggle his own pinky. Panic flickers behind his eyes. Few could understand what it means when your weapon becomes your prison, when the body you trust absolutely betrays you in front of strangers. But something far more terrifying was beginning to surface in Ali's mind. 30 minutes earlier, the studio lights dimmed for commercial break. Ali stretched in his chair beside the ring, shoulders loose, grin wide. The air smelled of fresh coffee and electrical heat from overhead stage lamps. Host Chris McKenzie leaned back, mopping sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief. Ali's voice carried across the backstage area, louder than necessary. I could beat any of these martial arts guys. No question, they're fast, sure. But they don't hit hard, Chris chuckled nervously. You think so? Ali nodded, confident as sunrise. I've been hit by George Foreman, felt like a mule kicked my skull. I've taken Joe Frazier's left hook, that thing could crack concrete. These kung fu guys, he waved dismissively toward the tournament fighters warming up beyond the cameras. They do their little moves, but there's no power behind it, all show. A camera operator near the ring shifted his weight. Glanced toward the corner where Bruce Lee stood reviewing footage on a monitor, alone. The operator's eyes widened. He touched the shoulder of a sound technician. The whisper started small, traveled through the crew like voltage through copper wire. Faces turned, someone cleared their throat, another looked away. Bruce's head lifted slowly. His gaze swept the room, reading body language the way others read text. The sound technician approached him, footsteps hesitant against the concrete floor. Laned clothes spoke 3 quiet sentences. Bruce's expression didn't change, but his stillness acquired a different quality, the kind that precedes sudden movement, the calm before equations resolve into action. He set down his clipboard and walked toward Ali. Bruce stopped 3 feet from the couch where Ali sprawled. Champion, he said, his voice carried no heat. You think martial artists don't hit hard? Ali turned. The smile that had charmed millions spread across his face. Around them, crew members shifted. Someone coughed. The commercial break clock ticked on the wall. Listen, Bruce. Ali stretched his arms wide, muscles rippling beneath his silk shirt. I've been hit by the hardest punchers in the world. George Foreman's punch, man, it felt like a mule kicked me square in the jaw. He laughed, the sound echoing off the studio rafters. I've stood toe-to-toe with Joe Frazier for 14 rounds. Those men throw bombs. He leaned forward. His eyes scanned Bruce from head to toe. I doubt you hit that hard, little man. The words hung there. Crew members froze mid-motion. Chris Mackenzie's coffee cup paused halfway to his lips. The air conditioning hummed its monotone drone, suddenly too loud in the silence. Bruce's expression didn't change, but his right hand rose slowly to shoulder height, palm open, fingers relaxed. Extend your arm, he said. Bruce locked eyes with Ali. His voice stayed level. You're right, I don't hit as hard as Foreman. Ali's grin widened, victory settling into his posture, but I hit more effectively. The grin faltered. Ali tilted his head, studying the smaller man like a puzzle with missing pieces. What's the difference? Bruce stepped closer. The scent of floor wax and hot studio lights thickened between them. Few boxers could grasp the distinction, power measured in foot-pounds versus precision calibrated in millimeters. Foreman hits to knock you out, Bruce said. His breath barely disturbed the air. I hit to shut down your system. Ali's jaw tightened, the playful mockery drained from his face, replaced by something sharper, curiosity, and the faintest thread of unease. Around them, crew members lined in without realizing it, drawn by the shift in atmosphere. Demonstrate it, the words hung there, not a request. A challenge laced with the confidence of a man who'd absorbed punishment from the hardest hitters alive and remained standing. Ali's forearm flexed unconsciously, muscles coiling beneath the skin. Bruce didn't smile, didn't nod. He simply turned toward the elevated ring in the center of the studio, where canvas and rope waited under the glare of dormant cameras. The invitation in his movement was unmistakable and irreversible. The canvas stretched taut beneath their feet, creaking with each shift of weight. Bruce stepped through the ropes first, his movements economical. Ali followed, the ring dipping slightly under his bulk. 40 crew members drifted closer without speaking. Cameras sat dormant on their tripods, red lights extinguished. The lighting grid hummed overhead, the only sound besides fabric rustling as bodies formed a loose circle around the elevated platform. No one coughed, no one whispered. Ali planted himself center ring. He rolled his right shoulder twice, then extended his arm, horizontal, steady. His forearm flexed, and the muscle swelled into a ridge of dark bronze. Veins traced pathways across the surface like river maps. Hit my arm. His voice carried no challenge now, just instruction. Show me this effective hitting. Bruce stopped 3 feet away. His eyes traveled from Ali's shoulder to wrist, scanning, calculating. He shifted his weight to his back leg. His right hand rose, palm open, fingers together, and hung suspended in the space between them. Few in that room could understand what they were about to witness. The air itself seemed to compress, molecules thickening, pressing against eardrums and lungs. Time stretched. Ali's arm remained extended, an offering. And Bruce's palm began its descent. Bruce's palm cracked against Ali's forearm. The sound was sharp, clean, precise as a scalpel opening skin. Ali's fingers sprang open, not from pain, but from something worse. His hand flopped sideways, dangling from his wrist like meat on a hook. The champion's bicep flexed instinctively, trying to command the arm. Nothing happened. His face shifted. Confusion replaced confidence in half a second. What Ali's voice caught. He stared at his own useless limb, shaking it once, twice. The fingers stayed limp, dead weight. Bruce stepped back, hands relaxed at his sides. Radial nerve disruption, he said quietly, the words cutting through 40 held breaths. Temporary paralysis. Ali lifted his arm with his other hand, examining it like a broken tool he'd never seen before. Your muscle strength is irrelevant if the nerve isn't transmitting signals. Bruce's tone carried no triumph, only fact, clinical, detached. I didn't damage tissue, I interrupted communication. The studio went tomb silent. Not a cough, not a shuffle. Ali's arm hung there, still useless. The greatest hands in boxing history, and one of them wouldn't answer its owner. Few could understand what Bruce had just proven, that power meant nothing if the body refused to obey. But Ali was beginning to. Pins and needles crawled up Ali's thumb, then his forefinger. The sensation burned like cold fire. He flexed, his fingers obeyed. Ali stared at Bruce. You fight different, you don't fight strength against strength. Bruce nodded once. I fight intelligence against strength. The studio lights hummed overhead, casting harsh shadows across both men's faces. 40 crew members leaned closer, sensing something deeper than technique unfolding. I find what you can't defend, Bruce continued, and exploit it. Ali's jaw tightened. That's not honorable. The word hung between them. Honor. The foundation of every boxing code Ali had built his empire upon. Face your opponent, stand your ground, fight fair. Bruce's expression hardened, his eyes became flint. Honor is a luxury. The air thickened. Survival is practical. Ali took a step back, not from fear, but from the weight of the statement. Few could understand what he felt in that moment, his entire philosophy challenged by 4 cold words. The champion who preached pretty fighting, who danced and dazzled, suddenly confronted with a man who viewed combat as surgical necessity. So you do anything to win? Ali's voice dropped lower. Bruce didn't blink. The question demanded an answer that would change everything Ali thought he knew about fighting. Teach me this nerve stuff. The words cut through the studio silence. Bruce's head tilted slightly. The champion who seconds ago defended honor now asked for weapons that ignored it. Ali stepped forward. Show me. 20 minutes became a masterclass. Bruce's fingers traced pathways along his own neck. Brachial plexus, just above the collarbone, strike downward. The body thinks the heart stopped. Bruce demonstrated on himself with controlled pressure. His left side sagged momentarily. Next, common perineal nerve outside of the knee. Bruce tapped the cluster. Leg collapse, instant, last. Vagus nerve compression, sides of the neck. Bruce's fingertips hovered. Carotid shut down. Unconsciousness in seconds. Ali practiced the angles in slow motion, his hands, now fully recovered, mimicking Bruce's precision. Patrick Donnelly volunteered from the crew circle, 28 years old and curious enough to risk it. Ali's thumb pressed into Donnelly's brachial plexus. The cameraman's knees buckled. His body dropped straight down, strings severed. The canvas floor absorbed the impact with a dull thump that echoed through the studio. Donnelly gasped, sprawled flat, eyes wide with shock. Ali looked at his own hand, then at Bruce. A question formed between them that neither man voiced, but every witness felt crawling up their spines. Miami heat pressed against the gym windows like a living thing. Sweat dripped from Kenneth Watts's jaw, pooling on the canvas beneath his stance. The smell of leather and salt hung thick in the air. Speed bags rattled their familiar percussion against the walls. Ali circled his sparring partner slowly, finger raised, right here. The champion tapped Watts's exposed neck, just behind the jaw, light pressure angled down. Watts nodded, muscles tensed. Ali's fingers found the brachial plexus, the exact angle Bruce had shown him. The strike landed soft as a whisper. Watts dropped, his knees buckled, his arms went slack, the canvas caught him hard. Ali stepped back, breathing steady. The memory surfaced, Bruce's calm voice in that studio ring, his own dead arm, the humiliation that became education. He extended his hand, pulled Watts upright. The younger man blinked, confused, rubbing his neck. What was that? Ali smiled. That was precision. He glanced toward the heavy bag swaying in the corner. All these years he had chased power, raw force. The ability to break a man with sheer impact, but Bruce Lee taught him something else entirely. something no trainer had ever mentioned. There's power and there's precision. I have power, he has precision. The words settled into boxing history, quiet as a blade.